Imagine you have a garden with many plants, but you didn't create a map of it. Managing and maintaining it becomes hard. Similarly, in cloud computing, managing existing resources without a configuration file is challenging. Terraform helps by allowing you to import existing resources. In this tutorial, we'll learn how to import existing GCP resources into Terraform, making it easier to manage your cloud infrastructure. This is crucial for efficiency and scalability. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use Terraform to manage your GCP resources effectively. Terraform is like a librarian for your cloud resources. It keeps track of all your resources and configurations in a file, making it easier to manage and maintain them. Think of it like a map for your garden, where each plant, resource, is marked and described. Terraform uses a concept called state to keep track of your resources. When you import existing resources, Terraform updates its state to include these new resources. This process is essential for infrastructure as code, IAC, because it allows you to manage your infrastructure configuration through code, making it versionable and reproducible. The benefits include easier management, version control, and the ability to reproduce your infrastructure setup. Terraform supports many cloud providers, including GCP, AWS, and Azure. Importing existing resources into Terraform is a straightforward process that involves a few commands. Let's look at a simple architecture diagram that includes GCP resources and Terraform. We have our GCP project with various resources like VM instances, storage buckets, and databases. Terraform connects to GCP using the Terraform GCP provider and manages these resources based on the configuration file. The configuration file defines what resources should exist and their properties. When you run Terraform, it compares the desired state, defined in the configuration file, with the actual state, the current resources in GCP, and makes any necessary changes to achieve the desired state. This process ensures that your infrastructure matches your configuration, making management and updates straightforward. To follow along with this tutorial, you'll need a few tools. First, you need to have Terraform installed on your machine. Terraform is the tool that will manage your GCP resources. You also need a GCP account with existing resources you want to import. The Google Cloud CLI is necessary for authenticating with GCP from your local machine. Lastly, you should have a code editor or IDE to write and edit your Terraform configuration files. Installing Terraform is straightforward. You can download it from the official Terraform website. For the Google Cloud CLI, you can install it using the command cloud-auth login to authenticate. When deciding how to manage your GCP resources, you might consider using the GCP console directly versus using Terraform. The GCP console is great for manual, one-off changes or for getting familiar with GCP resources. However, for managing complex infrastructure setups or for teams, Terraform is more suitable because it provides version control and reproducibility. Another option is using Cloud Development Kit, CDK, which allows you to define cloud infrastructure in code but is more specific to certain providers and may not offer the same level of flexibility as Terraform. The first step is to ensure you have Terraform and the Google Cloud CLI installed. Terraform can be downloaded from its official website. For the Google Cloud CLI, you can install it and then authenticate using the command cloud-auth login. This will open a browser window where you can select your Google account to authenticate. After authentication, you can use the command cloud config set project, project_ID, to set your default GCP project. Think of this step like preparing your toolbox before starting a project. After setting up your tools, the next step is to initialize Terraform in your working directory. This creates the necessary files for Terraform to manage your infrastructure. You do this by running the command terraform init. This command is like setting up your workspace. It prepares Terraform to start managing your resources. After initialization, you can configure Terraform to use the GCP provider by specifying your project ID and credentials. Let's walk through the process flow of importing existing GCP resources into Terraform. We start by installing and configuring Terraform and the Google Cloud CLI. Then, we initialize Terraform in our project directory. Next, we configure the GCP provider in our Terraform configuration file. After configuration, we use the Terraform Import command to import our existing GCP resources into Terraform state. Finally, we verify that the resources have been successfully imported by checking Terraform state file or using the Terraform show command. To verify that your resources have been imported correctly, you can use the Terraform show command. This command displays the current state of your infrastructure as managed by Terraform. Look for the resources you imported to ensure they are listed with their correct properties. You can also check the GCP console to verify that the resources exist and match the state shown by Terraform. In the GCP console, navigate to the respective resource pages, such as the VM instances or storage buckets page, and verify the details. One common issue when importing resources is authorization errors. This happens when Terraform doesn't have the necessary permissions to access your GCP resources. To fix this, ensure that your service account or user account has the required permissions. Another issue could be resource already managed by another Terraform configuration. In such cases, you might need to remove the resource from the other Terraform state or adjust the import command to handle the conflict. In this tutorial, we learned how to import existing GCP resources into Terraform, making it easier to manage our cloud infrastructure. We covered the benefits of using Terraform for infrastructure management, including version control and reproducibility. We also walked through the steps to configure Terraform for GCP and import resources. By following these steps, you can start managing your GCP resources more efficiently. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try importing different types of resources and explore more Terraform features to enhance your infrastructure management skills. Subscribe for daily in-depth DevOps tutorials explained in simple terms.